Hello and welcome to Guitars for Bars. I'm your host James. Today we're going to prime and paint the solo RRV Tiger Shark guitar. Please hit like and subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you very much. Let's get started. Just as before, I'm using the DPLF primer. Again, the gray color that I mixed up earlier, and the DP401 LF catalyst. The two have to be mixed together. 2 parts primer, 1 part catalyst. I mix them together in a pickle jar. I like the pickle jars. They have a nice big opening and they're free after you're done with the pickles. And I use a ladle. You can see it. I still got to clean that off. You have to mix it for 5 minutes to activate it, and then you let it sit for 30 minutes to, I forgot the word. Anyway, you gotta let it sit for 30 minutes before you can spray it. Now, after I spray it on the guitar is going to hang for an hour, maybe a little bit more, and then I'm going to go right to the paint. Now, I've got 4 colors here. I've got medium blue, flight green, some kind of yellow, and white. And I'm going to mix it to kind of match this, because this is the sparkle that's going on the darkest part of the design. I've got some blue mixed with some green. It's going to give us kind of a teal turquoise look, and like I said, that's going to be the darkest of the colors. Now, some people will tell you that you have to use a really dark contrasting color under glitter or sparkle so that you can see the sparkle. Well, that's not true. The sparkle is going to sparkle no matter what color you put under it. If you were to put black under this, then anywhere that you don't have the sparkle, you're going to see that black, and that's not what I want. I want to see that color, that teal turquoise color, if I don't see the sparkle. That way it all blends together real good and looks uniform. Now, for the paint, you will need the paint, the reducer, the hardener. DCX 61 is what I'm using, and this is the same hardener I use with the clear. And then I'm going to have an empty can here that I'm going to mix this stuff up in to get the color that I want. And then you're also going to need a mask. You have to have the mask, because if you don't, you could die. This stuff will prime and paint your lungs and you will suffocate. So it's very, very, very bad stuff. Don't use this if you don't have any experience at all using automotive finishes. And then one other thing you're going to need is a good exhaust fan, and one that hopefully has the motor isolated so that none of the overspray can get to it, because the electricity, a spark from the motor, could ignite the overspray and cause a flash fire, and the flash fire would burn the heck out of you. So you do not want that. Now I'm going to spray the primer with this gun, and it is a Cobalt from Lowe's. Nothing fancy. I might use it for the paint too. I'm not sure. I've got a better gun, but it's got a smaller cup, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to use for that. So I'm going to wait a while for the primer to congeal, or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to find that word and add that in later. You also need some strainers to strain the primer and the paint as it goes into the cup, to make sure that you don't have any lumps or chunks that's going to block everything up. Okay, the guitar is all hung up, ready to paint. I'm going to paint it hanging again. So like the Skull Rock, you guys will get a good laugh at watching this thing swing around and me trying to control it. I do have a little tab down there with the tape in order to be able to move the neck around a little bit. And I had an idea to use a stick through the tuning key holes to help hold it. So I'll be using actually a paintbrush for that. Oh, I forgot to mention, the very first coat, I'm just going to hit the areas that I sanded through. I want to make sure my corners and any of the bare spots get a little bit extra before I go on and start spraying the regular coats. Then I'm planning on doing 1 tack coat, and then 1 or 2 medium coats on top of that, and then that's it. I'm not wanting to make this too thick because we're going to put a pretty thick coat of paint on it because it has to be sanded back down just like the primer was. Okay, here goes the first coat, spraying just the bare spots and corners. And I'll be starting at the top and working my way down. You want to try to keep your hose off the ground as much as you can to keep some dust from getting kicked up. Alright, that's the first coat. Now I gotta wait 20 minutes and then we'll do the second coat. The second coat will be a full coat and it will be a tack coat, so it won't be real thick and heavy. Okay, it's time for the next coat. It's going to be a full coat. I'm going to start at the top, work my way to the bottom. I'm going to be real careful around the binding on the edge of the neck. I do not want that to build up too much because that will cause me lots of problems later. All right, let's do it. Okay, hold still. Other side. I always have a tendency to sand through right around that part of the neck right there. I don't know why, but that part gets really bad, and these little corners too. All right. That's it for that coat. I'm going to wait 20 minutes and give it one more coat. I'm not going to film that one because it's going to go just like this one did. And then we're going to wait an hour and then put the paint on it. So I'll see you in a little while. I had a little bit of paint or primer left in the jar after I dumped the rest of it into the spray gun. So I went ahead and took the brush and started putting the sealer primer coat on this BC Rich.